Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back. Sunday Night Live. I hate him already. We're 4 seconds in and he's already been unbearable. And he hasn't spoke yet. I can't speak. Hope you're all well. Let me know if you can see and hear me, lads and ladies. Sunday night, Wrexham take a huge step towards the championship. Stockport beat Bolton. Burton survive another day. Birmingham slip up at Sixfields. Mansfield get back to winning ways. Huddersfield hit Crawley for 5. And Bristol Rovers worries on the roads carries on. Tonight, for the next hour and a half, you've got myself and Jake. Jake, how was your weekend, mate?
Look at you muting me, thinking that I wouldn't notice.
How are you, mate?
Chin chin. Here's to 5 goals and 3 points, everybody! Come on! It's happened again. We'll come on to it later, but it's happened again. I'm good, mate. Do you know what? As much as I take the mick out of Bristol Rovers in their there they were. Speed camera. I had a lovely weekend with Ben Gill, who informed me that he wasn't going to be watching tonight for some reason or another. And Charlie from the Talking Gas podcast with a lovely day out in Lincoln, got some nice drinks in the mailbox. Watched the Imps get 3 points, watched QPR Leeds, and watched England play rugby. So it was good, mate. I've had a very good weekend. Good win. And to be honest, mate, this doesn't feel like a chore at all. Whereas last week, it was all of a sudden, it was like, oh, for God's sake, I've lost. But here we are, winning above Stevenage. Come on! Life's good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We lost 3-0 yesterday.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I did my first full match.
How'd it go?
Main commentary. It went all right. I think I can do better, but it went all right. I'm happy with how I did. Look, I've not been a great start, but David to go comes. We lost 2-0 and Charlie got sacked. And then we lost 3-0 yesterday when I'm on main comms. So, yeah, any new role you want to give me, don't. Because we will lose and we won't play well. So I'm a jinx. I met Pete Wild in the services after the game. Very interesting chat. I went in to have a full sugar Coke. I'll be honest with you. Right? Saw the plays and I thought, can't really come out with a full sugar Coke because they must think I'm this and this and this. Came out with a bottle of water. So, yeah, not they don't care, but in my head, I came away. But, yeah, hope you all had a good weekend. Long day yesterday as well. Newcastle have just won the cup final as well. Yeah. And Lincoln won theirs yesterday as well. Hello, Susan. You okay? Hope you're well. Hello, Richard. Hello, Sue. Hello, Parmex. Yes, Richard. Yes. Hello, Chris. Hope you're well. Hello, Mark. Hope you're well.
I'm Marie's here, mate.
What a guy. Shane in with a dono. Appreciate that, mate. Single-handedly helping me pay for the StreamYard. I appreciate it as well. The speed camera, all speed cameras. Now, before we get started, we'll do it when Lincoln segment gets started because Jake knows what's coming. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. Thank you. Jovan was, for me, he's overrated. We can fill him in. We can fill everybody in later about that comment as well. But we are going to start off. Make sure you drop a like on the stream and subscribe. Yeah. We have, I think, 7 subscribers from 16,700. Let's get it tonight. And let's see if we can hit 100 likes on the
stream. All right, Steve Bracknell. All right. Squat. And a little shuffle.
Win it. I love that man. Anyway, Huddersfield 5, Crawley 1, and singly it's 8:05. It's also 8:05 Crawley,
and
who yet again had more worries in Sky Bet League One, and their fate is almost guaranteed. It's another defeat for the Red Devils, which saw them again plummet to a disastrous performance. 71 goals conceded now with only 30 points, 12 points adrift with a possible 27 left to play. Huddersfield scored 4 first-half goals for the first time in a league match since 2004-2005. This is after the Terriers failed to score in each of Michael Duff's final last 6 League One home matches, and Huddersfield scored as many goals in the first half as Duff's last 6 games, that being 4. Massive win for Huddersfield. Joe Taylor back in the fold, back with a win. 61 points now. Now it seems to be tightening up. Leyton Orient in with a small chance. Reading in with a better chance on 59. Bolton with 2 defeats, however, only a point behind. That's a massive win for Huddersfield, isn't it, Jake?
Oh, well, quite literally. It was big by nature and also in what it does for the table. Yeah, I thought they were good. They looked like a team that played with the shackles off. And I'm really surprised, really, because I'd never sort of took Michael Duff as a manager that puts the shackles on his team, but they were outstanding. They were quick out the block. Obviously, you mentioned Joe Taylor, who's very kindly got himself back fit just in time for his return to Central Bank at the start of April, which is really good of you, Joe. So appreciate that. But Callum Marshall, I think that's 10 league goals for the season now. He's proved to be a good acquisition. Matty Pearson not scoring the first goal in a Huddersfield home win doesn't feel right. But scoring, which is more important for Huddersfield. And I've spoken to James, who's a Huddersfield fan, this evening, and he's told me about this Ruskin. I believe he got sent off on debut, didn't he?
He did.
But apparently, according to James, who's a big Huddersfield fan, living in the Peterborough area, which is unfortunate, which is a real shame. But
why? It's nearer to you.
Well, no, I've Huddersfield and Lincoln and Peterborough is probably about.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the geography. The smart. Geographically, he's 2 miles further away.
Look, I wouldn't know that. But the point is, apparently he's been mustered since coming back into the team. And yeah, look, that was a good win for them, especially with Bolton dropping points. Obviously, Orient haven't been in good form, but until yesterday, obviously. But you know, you look at the players that played, Ben. It was a bit of a different shape, Ben. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, we can come on to that later. I'm sure. A bit of a different shape. 4-2-2 they went yesterday, with Marshall and Taylor up front, Ben Wiles and Ruskin in behind, Evans and Hodge sort of playing as these deeper midfielders. So yeah, look, big win for them. In terms of Crawley, Ben, I mean, obviously we did a midweek show last week, didn't we? And I said how bad Crawley were after we thumped them 4-1. They just look like you can copy and paste everything that I said in that show. Devoid of ideas, playing the style of football that's going to take them down, similar to what MK Dons did, similar to what Carlisle did last season. Really, really poor. I mean, I thought Crawley were going to really have a go at it, but of the teams in the bottom 4, they're the ones that haven't had a go at it whatsoever. Burton have. Shrewsbury did for about 2 minutes, and it lasted all of 2 minutes, like I said.
No, to be fair, Shrewsbury had probably about 10 games, I'd say.
Cambridge had 2 games under Neil Harris, and then Burton obviously. Well,
Fleetwood had 4 at the end of last season.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and you won your last one as well.
Won 3 of our last 4 and missed 2 penalties away at Peterborough.
Yeah, well, there you are then. You see, Sue, I got the geography right. Look, according to Sue. Did I know?
See, you're 2 miles. I told you. See, I'm the one that's right. I'm the one, Sue. Don't be giving him credit. Me, I'm the golden one here.
Also, big hello to Nige Was. The rat imps are here. Hashtag Was on coffee. What a legend.
Hope you had a lovely birthday.
He did have a look. Yeah, well done for remembering, Ben. That was good of you to remember. Big day. That was a nice day out at Huddersfield, which we're now presently talking about. But yeah, big win for them in terms of getting them back into the playoff conversation. Obviously, puts them into that top 6 with 9 games to go for them now. Look, they've got a chance, haven't they? They've got a real big chance. But and obviously, I don't think they'll catch Stockport, but it's looking like maybe 1 of 4 for that last playoff spot for me, all the way down to Orient. I'd probably, if you're asking me for a bet, I'd probably say my money's on either Huddersfield or Bolton. But
we didn't, but yeah.
Eh?
Nothing.
We're not having a bet, no, not this time, because you don't win bets against me, Nappers. As you know, we did a stream of a Lincoln shirt on, so you don't win bets against me, mate. So,
For context, if people are new around here,
for context, yes, somehow every single game we make about Lincoln and Fleetwood, don't we?
Yeah.
We're so good at this.
That's what we do, isn't it?
You do you know? I was talking to
My
David.
team might even in League One.
I was talking. Do you know? Funny enough, you were saying that. I was talking. Sorry, Huddersfield and Crawley fans, because you probably wanted us to come here and boost your ego, Huddersfield fans. But we're talking about Lincoln and Fleetwood because we're more important. I was actually speaking to David today about about one of your videos where you talk about your favourite player from every single League One club.
Yeah.
And then it's funny how many mentions of Fleetwood Town he can get in one video. Oh, Danny Andrew played for.
No. Listen to me. My favourite, right? My favourite. And how many did I give to ex-Fleetwood players? Not very many. I could have done.
You mentioned him.
I mentioned that I could go for this player, but I'm not going. I'm being fair.
The context of that joke, eventually we might get there. Ben might let me get there. Is we had a bet, didn't we, Ben, about who would finish higher in the league, and it was Lincoln and Fleetwood.
About 2 points.
And it went down to the final day, didn't it?
Yeah.
And a current Fleetwood midfielder scored the goal against Shrewsbury to seal the deal and made Lincoln finish above. Well, we finished 11th. You finished 13th.
However, thanks to Matty Virtues, who has got an extra kidney spare now.
Yeah.
She was going to donate one to keep one. But no, going back to the game, fantastic win. Huddersfield, and they needed it. It's a confidence boost. Look, this could even come down to goal difference. You never know. And to get 4+ on the goal difference as well is massive. And they've got a massive goal spring on everybody else now.
There he is.
Huge. And look, it's a big win for them, big for confidence. Look, you're getting Joe Taylor scoring goals. Look, if it wasn't a great finish or not, it's a
right place, right time, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. And Shane has come in with another £6.66p donation. Shane, you are a star. You are the shining heart of this thing. You talk about membership videos. We've got an extended one of my commentary yesterday, like how I prepare and unseen bits as well. So yeah, unseen bits where Fleetwood won. Yeah, seen by nobody. Lincoln 5, Bristol Rovers 0. Now we often talk on this stream. All right. Pack it in. Some people might cover. Now, I got a message about 6 o'clock last night. I'm editing my video of this bloke here. And basically, so for back-to-back seasons, somehow Bristol Rovers have lost 5-0, and the season before they lost 6-3.
So we don't score 5 goals in a game, Ben. We have to remember what Darren Ferguson
never. Lincoln City are now unbeaten in their last 7 league meetings against Bristol Rovers, winning 5, drawing 2, scoring 5 or more goals in 3 of their last 6. Lincoln back-to-back wins at home for the first time since October. Meanwhile, each of the last Imps' 3 league hat-tricks have come against the gas. McCarmer, Taylor, and Jack Diamond. Lincoln have scored 9 goals in their last 2 home games, 4 being against Crawley, having only scored 8 in the last 8, and of which 5 of those came against Peterborough. Fantastic victory for the Imps. It sees them move all the way up to 12, still 12 points off the playoffs as they go for the We Finished Above Stevenage Cup, as they are currently above them on goal difference. Currently, Jake has got a bet on with Matthew
I do well
Farley,
at those nappers, don't I? You should have worn Matt Farley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. However, it's still very close. A win that probably secures Lincoln's safety in the division for another day as well. But Jan van McCarmer takes his goal tally up to 7 for the season before Tom Bayliss added from a corner and James Collins added another goal for him as well. A great victory for them. 5-0, 5 goals, 3 points, clean sheet. And Lincoln were fantastic. 23 shots to 3, 11 to 2 on target. Bristol Rovers' form away from home, though, is a concern. We know how strong they can be at home, but away from home, they are really, really poor. And look, they played 19 games. They've won 3, they've drawn 2, they've lost 14. They've only scored 11 away from home. They've conceded 36 goals. That's as many as Cambridge, 4 more than Shrewsbury. Crawley have conceded 44. They're the only team in the division conceding more. It is a worry, this, isn't it? But for Lincoln, outstanding. Skabala, lifetime contract. Says Jake.
Yeah, we'll talk about Bristol Rovers first because I feel like that would only be fair, wouldn't it? Yeah, they were bad. They were particularly bad. It was like as soon as they went a goal down, they just weren't interested. And whether that's, I don't know what that is. I suspect what it is, Ben, was they had a tough week, didn't they? Obviously, they come off the back of 2 massive wins against Huddersfield and Bolton, where they exuberated a lot of effort. I said this might be a factor to Charlie on Thursday night, but they were just tepid in possession. They were just keeping the ball and not doing a lot with it. Like you say, they only had, was it 3 shots, 5 shots, 2 on target. They were really poor. Kofi Shaw again was the only sort of Bristol Rovers player that could hold his head high. And the goalkeeper maybe actually stopped it from maybe being 7 or 8 because it really could have been and maybe should have been if we had taken the chances. But Jed Ward, only a young lad himself, I thought he was excellent in goal. And fair play to the Bristol Rovers fans because it must be hard knowing you come into Lincoln to get pumped 5-0 again. It must be really, really difficult for them. And that's a long trip. I've done it myself. It's a really long way. So fair play to the Rovers fans and fair play to Ben and Charlie. Stuck it out. We had a good chat after the game and over a pint at the mailbox watching the England rugby game. So fair play to them. I am worried about them away from home. At the Mem, I see them getting enough points to keep them in the league, Ben, but away from home, they've got to address something. We have this, and I said this on Tuesday, probably Wednesday, probably when we did the show then. You say it about Barnsley, don't you? In terms of their form at Oakwell, they're so good away from home, but at Oakwell, they really need to get better. Bristol Rovers are just completely opposite. And what it's going to take, I've got absolutely no idea. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of Lincoln, Ben, scoreline says it all, doesn't it? Scoreline absolutely says it all. Jovan McCarmer, outstanding. First career hat-trick. Absolutely bullied the life out of Sil Swinkles and Clinton Mola on the left-hand side, who were both decent performing for Bristol Rovers before yesterday's game. James Collins is coming in. You can automatically see the difference between playing a Ben House up front or a Freddie Draper up front. No disrespect to Freddie and Ben, compared to a James Collins, who's a natural goal scorer at this level. The way he took his goal, Ben, I don't know if you've seen it, was just like unbelievable. It's an unbelievable finish. Whether he should have the space or not, I don't think he probably should. But Jovan, absolutely outstanding. He's got everything, Ben, hasn't he? He's got power, he's got pace, he's got that confidence. And when you've got young players, Ben, you've seen it at Fleetwood, young players playing with confidence, they just go like that. And Jovan, over the last couple of weeks, goal and assist at Barnsley, goal and assist against Crawley, 3 goals and an assist yesterday. He's truly becoming a really, really good key player for us. And shifting him out to that right-hand side has been a revelation because in his first, sorry to go on, but his first 70-odd games in a Lincoln shirt, he's playing as a striker. We're hoofing the ball up to him. Jovan McCarmer is not a target man forward. Jovan McCarmer is best when he has space to run into. You saw it at Fleetwood, didn't you? When he got Toto sent off. Do you remember? Sorry. No, but I'm trying to exasperate my point.
To be fair, at least he was onside, yeah.
Yeah, he was onside, and he would have scored to make it 2-0. But you never.
But the first one was offside.
Yeah, we'll never know. But anyway, the point is, Jovan's gone out wide. Big credit to Colo, Joe Gardner when he came on. Dom Jeffries was outstanding. George Wickens, or Gorgeous George, as Sue likes to call him, another clean sheet for him. He's had a really good 2025, so hopefully he can have another big season next year. But yeah, maybe it was a good day out, mate. It was good. It was to beat Bristol Rovers, to score 5 goals. I think we're like the top scorers in the league in 2025 now. We've scored obviously we scored 5 against Posh, 5 yesterday, 4 against Crawley, 3 at Barnsley, 3 at Mansfield. So scoring goals, it's not the issue at the minute. Which is quite odd.
I think the inconsistency again, like Fleetwood, that's mid-table. Blackpool, Barnsley, Stevenage, Rotherham, Mansfield up to January, and obviously they've had a poor run. They've not really been inconsistent. They've been good, and then we have been dross. They've had 2 spells of it. Exeter have been inconsistent, but will be grateful over the last 5-game week that they've managed to draw 3 and win 2, haven't they? And Wigan are the same. That when you're inconsistent, you get fed up. You'd rather, in a way, be you're consistently bad and you know what you're up against and you stay up. That's if you feel happy with that. Like if Burton were to stay up, they're more happy finishing 20th than Lincoln are finishing 12th. And that says everything about how the season ends for you a little bit as well. However, it is good. Now, they were 2 of the, no disrespect, lesser games in the midweek before we went to, obviously, the scoreline got them there. The biggest one, I would say, possibly in the bottom 2 divisions. I think that in the Championship, you had big games this weekend, didn't you, in terms of especially the Steel City derby probably being the biggest, if I'm honest with you. But after that, there's not many bigger than Wycombe 0, Wrexham 1, who recorded their 5th away win out of their last 6, did Wrexham, who leapfrogged Wycombe to go into second with their 21st victory and their 51st goal. Sam Smith, he could have scored a hat-trick. He did hit a post, did have a good save, but also scored the winner, which, by the way, can I just say, was outstanding, wasn't it? It was an absolutely outstanding. And look, I think one of the supporters fell ill at the ground where Wycombe dealt with it great. And look, for me, I think Wycombe are one of the classiest clubs in the EFL for the way they do things off the pitch. They ran well. The supporters are brilliant. The people who work for them, like
Phil Catchpole.
Phil Catchpole is brilliant, and he's absolutely. He sent me a message about me doing commentary as well. I thought, what
did he? Oh, what a bloke Phil Catchpole is.
So I love speaking to him, and I've always liked Wycombe that. And we must say our thoughts with the Wrexham supporter. We must say well done to Wycombe on that, off the pitch. On the pitch as well, massive win. Wycombe can go above Wrexham with a win on Tuesday night. That is their game in hand away at Rotherham. If Wycombe were to win that game of football, it is then in Wycombe's hands, level tied. But Wrexham have won the 2 games over Wycombe. If it was to come down to something like that in the end, massive, massive win for Wycombe. Look, Sam Smith was saying, I believe it was around for £2 million, £2 million. If that goal gets Wrexham to the Championship, he's already then paid off his fee. Yeah. And that is massive. He scored some big goals since arriving at the football club. Look, these types of games are really poor. But you look at the stats, 10 shots to 5, 3 on target to 2. There was 1 shot each on target. Look, it was very cagey, very, let's not lose it. A point would have been better for Wycombe because if you think about it, that would have been, well, a game closer to the 46 and maybe not allowing Wrexham to take over you. However, one thing I will say, I think Wycombe are limping over the line. Wrexham are finding something late on in the day. Wrexham have had their 5 or 6 game mini blip where they lost to Shrewsbury away, lost to Leyton Orient at home. They lost to Stevenage at home. It wasn't 5, but it was in around about an 8 to 9 game period. And they weren't great. I think they lost away at Barnsley, didn't they, at the start of the calendar year as well. Wycombe are now struggling under dogs. Yes, I know they've only lost to Birmingham and they've lost to Wrexham. However, they are struggling. They are just bumping over that line with 9 games to go. Wrexham, by the way, have been in this situation. There's so many of these players that have been with Wrexham over the years that they've then added promotion winners. To say that. And what they've done to it is they've added a little bit of Cajun spice to the chips that they've got.
They've added a little bit of spice.
Yeah, exactly. You've done that impression to me this week as well. And like to Sam Smith, Jay Rodriguez, that may not be the best of players these days, but can add experience. You know, those players that they've added this season has been, good winners as well. Look, they're used to going up. No disrespect, they're used to going up as runners up. But look, they won't care because, obviously they won the National League, don't get me wrong, but they won the National. They finished second nationally the year before. I think they obviously finished second last year. If you get over the line, that's all that matters. They're probably 9 games away. Big win. For me, I'd go as far to say that's the biggest game. This is the biggest game we've had so far. That is the biggest goal we've seen this season in Sky Bet League One.
What we should probably do, Ben, is slow down because it's been 24 minutes. We've got 3. We need to slow down. Because we're normally at the end of game 3 at minute 45. So
we're trying. I'm trying today to give each team equal bar the 3-1-1 draws.
we're struggling. We'll get to that.
Vibes between them.
We'll get to that one. Good to see Ben Gill in the chat, by the way. Ben, who obviously we've already spoken about the game, Ben. So don't worry, the gloating's over. But very nice comments there, and thank you very much for the good weekend. On to Wrexham, Wycombe, Ben. I watched the highlights before we came on. And to be fair to Wrexham, Ben, I'd probably say they deserved it. In terms of the chances that were created in the game. Sam Smith at the post after, anticipating that Caleb Taylor would have a poor backheader to his goalkeeper. Sam Smith with a wonderful goal, and he has, like you say, been a revelation since coming into the club. He scored, they don't score many goals, Wrexham, but Sam Smith gets a lot of them purely because of his style of play, isn't it? He anticipates and he gambles, and that's what a good centre forward does. And we'll come on to it when we talk about Matty Godden a little bit later when we come on to Charlton probably. He's just in the right position at the right time. He anticipates that Stephen Fletcher's going to head that ball back across. And, well, once it does and the ball leaves his left foot, the technique on that to aim it into the far corner is absolutely outstanding. Yeah. And before you said it, I was actually going to talk about, yes, Ben, absolutely. What I was going to praise Sam Smith, I also think it's really important to praise the defence as well, because there were a couple of hairy moments where Okonkwo made a really good save down to his left. There was one, I think it was George Dobson that cleared it, or Owen O'Connell that cleared it off the line from a Joe Low header. So, look, Wycombe had chances, but Wrexham defended particularly well. And this was the issue, wasn't it, of Wrexham? It was that away form. But like you said there, Ben, they've won 5 out of the last 6 away from home. That doesn't look like an issue for them anymore. And like you said, Ben, I was going to mention it just before you did about the experience that this Wrexham group have got of getting promoted. Like, how many of these players played for them in League Two, and how many of these players have got promoted before, or how many of these players have been promoted with Wrexham, and they've got the manager. This part of the season is literally you don't care about results. You've seen it with Fleetwood both end.
Performances.
It's not about performances. We've seen it with Lincoln and Fleetwood over the last 12 months. It's all about getting the results and just winning. And that's the mindset you've got to have. Win. Right. Next one. Win. Next one. Win. And that's how Wrexham have got themselves promoted twice in 2 years. And ultimately, they stand a really good chance. Yeah, Wycombe have got a game in hand, Ben, but that's away at Rotherham. And, it's not the easiest place to go and win, is it, Rotherham? I mean, Wrexham didn't win at Rotherham. I seem to think they drew.
Wrexham won at Rotherham 1-0.
It was Paul Mullin, wasn't it? I seem to think.
9th minute of the game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so my point still stands. Rotherham's a tough place to go, especially on a Tuesday night under Steve Evans. So, look, massive win for Wrexham. That will give them a lot of confidence. It will massively, it will get them in Wycombe's heads a little bit. They'll be doubting themselves. But, yeah, I think on the balance of play, I watched the 5-minute highlights. Obviously I don't know because I wasn't at the game, but I'd probably say Wrexham deserved to win it based on what I saw. So yeah, it was massive. It was absolutely massive, and like you say, by far the biggest game in the league this weekend. But yeah, massive for Wrexham. For Wycombe, yeah, my hesitation was about Dodds. My hesitation's always been about Dodds. He's never held this position. He's never felt this pressure before. It's a difficult environment to go into, especially when you're coming into a job where they're second in the league. These sort of jobs don't come up very often. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of Wycombe fans maybe doubting the head coach at the moment, but yeah, for Wrexham, they won't care. They'll be looking at 3 promotions in a row and looking to achieve yet more history. So fair play to them.
I see Wycombe getting 19 points for now end of the year. I see Wrexham getting 20. I think Wrexham will win this division just through the quality. Look,
What did you just say?
I think Wycombe will get 19.
No. You just said, I think Wrexham will win this division.
I think Wrexham will win.
Right. Birmingham fans, he's a fraud. He is a fraud.
Mate, I got back at 12:15 last night.
Look, no excuse, mate. You've had plenty of time to sleep. You've been watching the football all afternoon.
I've been prepping for this show, boy. That's what I've been doing.
Clearly not. If you think Wrexham are going to win the league, about 20 points.
Well, they are. Birmingham are bottling it. They're drawing. Davis out. Bolton 0, Stockport 1. Bolton automatics, Jake. Come on, mate. Back-to-back losses. We're talking about stinking calls.
Yeah, this is my fault. This.
There you are, yeah. Bolton Wanderers record back-to-back defeats for the first time under Steven Schumacher and have failed to win any of their last 7 league games against County, losing 5 of which it's a 1-0 victory in November 1998. Stockport that County have now only lost 1 in their last 12, only losing to Cambridge United 2-0 away from home. Getting a good number of wins in there as well, coming into form since the departure of Louis Barry, who was recalled and sent back out on loan. Stockport have won 6-0 on aggregate against Bolton this season and now 6 points clear. 6 points clear of 6 points off second and 5 points clear of seventh. Massive victory for them. Look, when you play these games, they aren't always going to be great performances. They are always going to be vintage. It's about getting the goal. And Alafe, again, with a big goal. Abutore.
Great goal.
What?
Great goal. It's a great goal.
Yeah, it is a great goal.
Unbelievable.
And then Abutore as well has been influential, getting better as weeks go on. Look, in terms of the statistics, Bolton have a large share of the ball, have more shots on target, Stockport County do shade, but a great win for County. Great atmosphere within the stadium, especially for an early kickoff as well. 65 points, Jake. Look, 9 to go. They'll be thinking they're still in this race. Charlton will still thinking they're in this race.
Yeah.
Do you think they are?
I think they're still in it. I think it's unlikely that they win it. But I think they're certainly we've sort of said the top 5 is the top 5, isn't it? And then we're looking at one of 4 to finish in that last playoff spot. Sorry, pardon me. This was outstanding, and this is why I love Dave Challoner and why I think he's such a good manager, because you can, you've seen 2 sides of Stockport. You see the sexy on the floor football that they can play, and they ping it around through Norwood and Bate and Powell in midfield, and they've got it out wide to Barry, which they did previously. Fevrier and Alafe getting in behind. Yeah, unlikely Parmex, but I like your optimism.
That's how good Birmingham have been, by the way.
That is how good Birmingham have been. Yeah, absolutely. Northampton probably deserved a point yesterday, though, so we'll come on to that later. It was. And what I like about Stockport is you see the other side of them in big games like this, where I sort of draw comparisons to the win over Wrexham at Edgeley Park earlier in the season. Just gritted, determined, defending particularly well, defending from the front. And look, this is a big win. This is a big statement of intent, because some people, aka this idiot, was touting Bolton as a potential automatic promotion hunter, but this week they've been bumped right back down to earth. And I didn't think Bolton were vintage yesterday. I only caught a little bit of it while I was at the pub. I didn't make a lot of Bolton. There was a penalty shout, wasn't there, in the first half, which I thought would have been soft, which Bolton think they maybe should have had. But Stockport hung in there, and Alafe, typical Alafe goal, in the fact that he gets the ball and he just runs, and no one can catch him, no one can stop him, and the footwork on the touchline, Ben, to get by the defender, to knock it into the space, then win the ball again, go round 2 or 3 more and slide it in the bottom corner in front of, I'm guessing it was around 3,000 or 4,000 Stockport fans in that away end would have been.
2.5.
I can't imagine how good a feeling that must have been for him. It's such a big goal, and look, this is why Stockport are so good, that you see both sides of them, and they've got that sexy football, and they've also got the hardcore, absolute brick housery of the other way as well, and I'm all for it. They've got a great team. Brad Hills again had another particularly good game at centre back. Bate in midfield.
A long way since that hotel in Lincoln, hasn't he?
It's a gym, not a hotel. Bate and Norwood in midfield pulling the strings again. Alafi and Anderson as well. So yeah, massive for them, Ben. I don't know where you stand on Bolton. Potentially, because I don't know, because after I touted them, I really thought they were, before this week they were going to start getting momentum. They're just going to start chugging along, but they've hit a real bit of a brick wall, haven't they?
I think they have, but there's still 9 games to go. I think that's one thing they'll see. They've given themselves a platform. Look, they were unlucky the other day. They could have drawn that. Orson looks better. Yesterday was probably a game where they feel like they should have got maybe a little bit more from in terms of everything else. It's nice to see Alafe score. Look, he scored, I think, 20 goals last season in League Two. Played a large share. I think he played 42, 43 games last year. He's only started 18 times this year. He scored 7 goals and got a couple of assists as well. 10 in all comps. It's nice to see him getting up to running ways. And they're going to need everybody Stockport if they're going to really challenge. I still think Bolton Wanderers will have enough to get inside that top 6. If they don't, will it be a disaster? I don't think so. I think last year it would have been, the year before it would have been. I think next year they can rebuild on Steven Schumacher, then the pressure's on. I don't think there's any pressure on them to achieve anything now for what they've been through this season, although Bolton Wanderers should be for the squad they've got, for the wages they're paying, the expectation of the football club, they should. But because of the way they've been for the best part of six months, and management, owners, players have all got to take responsibility. Look, Schumacher's come into the building and tried to implement his own style. He's only had 10 games. He's won 5 of them. He's lost, I think, three within the division. Look, against Reading, Bristol Rovers, and Stockport. It's not bad that they're improving gradually. That's all I can say. So, yeah, 9 games to go. Great win for Stockport. It's a massive win, that, and it'll give them the belief they can go anywhere and win, which they'll have anyway. They don't need to get that. Talk about going anywhere and winning. You don't need to exactly always do that when you're Charlton. Charlton Athletic have now won 12 games, drawn 5 and lost 2 since in the league at home this year, and they've been so good. And look, this is the first time they've won 7 on the spin at home since 1997, 1998 under club legend Alan Kirbysley. A great victory for them yesterday. Wigan failed to win back-to-back league games again for the first time since November. We talk about inconsistency there as well. But going back to Charlton, in this last 3.5 months, I think it's been them and Birmingham that have been the clear best 2 sides within the division. I really do. They've won 13, they've drawn 5, they've lost 2. That's 44 points from across 60 matches, 2.2 points per game over the course of the season. That's more than enough to get you promoted. They only won 6 of the first 19. There's been a huge improvement there. They've gotten away at big size and won. That was a great win in the week. We spoke about Nathan Jones's comments, staying focused. He's a bit of a nutter. He's a bit of a very high intensity. And for these last 9 games, it's going to be all at it. I don't think
no high fives.
I don't think I could put up with him long term. We talk about intense managers that are currently out of a job that want to be in League One and League Two, about being a little bit too intense at times. However, then we look at him, he seems to be like that. At this moment in time, it's a good thing because you're going to keep them at it. The 17 clean sheets. Again, massive, massive win for them. They score late goals. I think it's in double digits now, over 10 now, past that 90 minutes. We saw them away at win at Leyton Orient. It started a bad run for them. We saw, the excellent defensive solidity the other night against Crawley. Great victory for them. And we talk about, Stockport being in the top 2, Charlton are a point further on than them, in form, winning 19 games, only 2 behind Wycombe. Yes, they played a game more, but if Wycombe don't win if they lose on Tuesday, you still categorically put Wycombe in it. I think Charlton are more than in it.
Charlton are in it. Absolutely, the way they're going. You said earlier where did Charlton need to go? They just need to stay at home, Ben, because they're just so good at home. I don't know how many games they've won in a row or in 2025 at the Valley, but it'll be creeping up to what a lot of other teams have won all season, making it a fortress. And we spoke earlier about Sam Smith and we spoke about Tanto Alafe just then, but this is all about Matty Godden. Like both goals, Ben, if you've watched Matty Godden through his career at Stevenage, Coventry, wherever he's been, Charlton now, these 2 goals just epitomise Matty Godden. Like both of them. Peterborough, in the right place, at the right time, 9 times out of 10. And he leaves them. And the reason I like him is because the finishes aren't hard, but he makes them not hard because he's in the right position 9 times out of 10. I mean, you look at the second goal, for example, he anticipates that the ball's going to parry and the ball's going to drop exactly where it drops. I don't think a lot of other centre forwards in this league are able to do that. I really don't. And yeah, no, I completely agree with where you standing on Charlton. They were outstanding yesterday. A really big win for them. It gets them now, well and truly in and amongst it. That's 66 points, just 5 behind Wrexham. I still think they've got Wycombe and Wrexham both to play. So, yeah, they're still well and truly in this. If they can beat Wrexham and then gain another 3 points on them, then that'll be them above them as it stands. So, yeah, look, fantastic from Charlton. Yeah, at home, an absolute fortress, and only some teams have got to go to the Valley this season, and I'm not particularly looking forward to my trip because I know what's going to happen. So, yeah, under Nathan Jones, effective again yesterday without being glamorous and sexy. But that's what they've been all season, hasn't it? You know, winning 1-0, winning by the odd goal here and there. I think for Wigan, I think of what I saw of the game, I think there were some positives to take out of it. Obviously, Nathan Lowe. I did it again. Ryan Lowe's first game. It's because I've been talking about Nathan Lowe with David because he bought him for £9 million on Football Manager. Mental. My point being, positives for Ryan Lowe. We spoke about this appointment, didn't we, in the week? How we thought it was a really good appointment and a bit of a coup for Wigan. I think what you're going to see with him is a free-flowing attacking team. I think what the shame is for Wigan is it took them going 2-0 down for their fans to see it a little bit. Second half, I thought they were good. Chris C gets the goal, but they had a couple of opportunities where they forced the keeper into some saves or they get into some nice areas and they don't quite put them away. I think on another day, maybe we're talking about Wigan snatching a point, but I think the future's bright for Wigan. I really do under Ryan Lowe. I think he'll get them playing. I think he'll bring in some attacking players over the summer, and they can forget about the goal scoring woes and build on that defensive solidity that they've had for a while. God, I'm sounding like Ben here. Go on, go for it.
The currently just winning games that they were drawing last year. This is a side that drew 20 times last year. They've drawn 9 this year. They've won 19. You take 5 wins away, right? It's 14 wins, 14 draws, all of a sudden, the 10 points worse off. And look, they're 56 points, just a bit better off than they were last year. He sees fine margin in football. I keep saying it all the time. If you can just find a way, just gamble a little bit and get over that white line. They've won by the odd goal so many times this year, Charlton. You just think recently, if you're just looking this year, 1-0 against Shrewsbury, the last echelons of the game. I think Thierry Small got that one. You think in February, they got over the line against Peterborough 2-1. Then this month, they beat Crawley 1-0. They beat Barnsley 1-0. They beat Charlton 2-1. They beat Wigan 2-1. Even going back, they've beaten Cambridge this year by the odd goal. They beat Wycombe by the odd goal. They beat Northampton by 5 odd goals. But over the course of it, they are just getting over those. They're not blowing teams away. But all it is, it's 3 points. It's tick, tick, tick. And it's about, if you can do that winning games of football, that's all you need to. You don't need to win 2-3. People talk to me about, I remember when Jack Kershaw, we had a chat about Grimsby. And granted, he was on about goal difference. I went, yeah, I don't get to talk about goal difference with 15 games to go. I don't. Maybe with 4 or 5 games to go, yes. But if they went to go and win 12 of their next 15, they'll get promoted. It's as simple as that. Or they'll get into the playoffs. They'll get where they need to. That's all Charlton need to do. That's exactly what they need to do. And they've got a positive 17 goal difference because of their goals conceded. They've conceded 2 less than Wycombe. They've conceded, 2 more than Wrexham, granted, 8 more than Birmingham, but Birmingham's defence is on another level. 2 less than Stockport County, 2 less than Huddersfield, 23 less than Bolton. That is the key difference. That's where Bolton are where they are. That's where Charlton are. They don't need to score goals. They are the lowest goal scorers within the top, 11. If you look at, even in the top 12, Stevenage are, the only
they're
side.
They're not in the top 12.
They will be. Stevenage are the nearest team to them that have scored less goals. That's, for me, everybody says it. And I remember talking to Michael Bowers about this, who's a Sunderland supporter.
Oh, yeah.
League One. Right.
Yeah,
and he used to always say it, and I said it to him. I'm a massive believer. Attackers win games, defenders win championships, they win titles. If you keep clean sheets, you'll get a point minimum. Charlton have got quality to win games of football regularly enough. They've got a way to get through games, difficult moments, switch on. They score late goals rather than concede. It's a mentality thing. Nathan Jones has installed him, and that's how intense he is. He's buzzed up. He's one of those types of guys that, we've mentioned it before, he's one of those that will overthink everything and needs the game to be over. Then he can relax a little bit. 9 games to go. Do not write this Charlton side off. We have 5 subscribers from 16,700. So please make sure you drop a like on the stream, subscribe. Tell you what, if we hit 18,000 subscribers by the end of March, right, I'll never ever change my username on Twitter ever again. There you are. There's a bet for you. There's a challenge. So get subscribing. Cambridge 0, Peterborough 1. Following this, it was a 1-0 win for Peterborough. Again, great to see. That's 4 away matches unbeaten now after losing 10 of their previous 11 in that really bad period. Meanwhile, the Posh have now been shown more red cards than any other side in League One. It's never a good mercy that side that normally gets shown the most red cards in the division struggle. Fleetwood got the most last year and got the most penalties given against them. Unfortunately, went down. Cambridge United only won one of their last 12 league games against Peterborough United, losing 8, losing their last 4 meetings by an aggregate score of 13-1. We are about Cambridge playing Peterborough, not Lincoln.
Sounds like Bristol Rovers, doesn't it?
No, well, that's like you know, so I love Lincoln against Peterborough at the bank is nice and glamorous, you know, Tom Cruise coming out. And then Lincoln away at London Road is a bit like you coming out of the Pearl Line, trying to be Tom Cruise, isn't it? It's completely 2 different things, isn't it? Cambridge United just won 2 of their last 9 home matches, keeping 1 clean sheet. That's everything you need to know. Back-to-back wins for Harris when he first came in. However, what's followed is a run of defeats. He were 8 points adrift when he came into the football club. However, defeats since the Stevenage 1-0, Wigan 1-0, Blackpool 2-1, Peterborough 1-0. They are in games. How many times? I think that the other day I listed, I think they've lost 11 of the games that they've lost this season by the odd goal. And we talk about Charlton winning by the odd goal. It's the difference. Cambridge United are going to get relegated, 13 points adrift with 27 to play for. Did you see Neil Harris's interview after the game where he talks about mentality? He talks about not enough players in this squad want to play. He's going to have a look at it. He says the desire is not there and they're not at it. He walked away from the press conference. He was a very angry, fused man, and you know what he can be like. He said some controversial things in his Millwall press
I know exactly what Neil Harris can be like.
Yeah, after saying, why have you worked with him?
Have I not told you the story of when he called me it rhymes with anchor?
He called you that?
Yeah, it was when he was manager at Millwall.
Neil Harris, Barmy Army. I'm gonna when I meet him. If I meet him next season, I'm offered to buy that bloke a pint. He deserves. No, look, I get it. He's fused up. They're not good enough. As simple as you can talk about the guy all you want, blue to your face, but you really think this? You look at the 11, you say, look, they're fighting and whatever. For me, Ballard laughed. Look. When you look at the table, right? And I was speaking to, I did a TikTok live, and Josh mentioned it before. Shrewsbury, Cambridge, and Burton. Burton finished 20th. You've got Cambridge in 19th and Shrewsbury 18th last year, right? That are now going down. Now, how many times on this channel have we talked about this year of a waiting list? Fleetwood was struggling for time, went down. Morecambe was struggling for a couple of years, went down. Accrington struggled for years, went down. Forest Green Rovers went down within a year. And the sides that came up from League Two aren't weak sides now, bar Crawley. The 3 that came up were 2 were well backed and 1 had a decent chance of staying in the division.
4 teams come up from League Two.
Yeah, and Crawley, I mentioned Crawley, bar Crawley. And the 3 others, yeah. Listen, boy. Yeah, and that's a difference this year. And they've finally been caught. Burton and those 3 sides are next. You now worry about maybe Northampton, Exeter, Mansfield potentially as well. Potentially even Bristol Rovers, you know, next year as well. Yeah, I just think that the time's run out. They've been caught. They finally found something weaker. Daylight has saved the season in the last few weeks when the clock's gone back and Easter's come up. Jesus,
tonight, isn't it?
Save them now, could they?
Well, that's tonight, Ben. I'm pretty sure when the clock's.
No, it's 2 weeks' time, mate.
Oh, it's 2 weeks' time. No more.
I think it is anyway.
I thought it was tonight.
Surely not.
I thought it was tonight. I'm going to Google
When-
it. When do the clocks change?
Last Sunday of March every year.
Ah.
You've seen a TikTok of them trying to save daylight hours.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for Cambridge, it happens in 2 weeks' time, and by then they'll pretty much nearly be relegated. I think Neil Harris just looked like a defeated man, didn't he? I didn't watch.
Or is it next week?
I didn't watch the press conference in which you're referring to, but I can completely understand where he's coming from. He's not a happy bunny. He's come in, made an impact, and all of a sudden, it's not working out for him. Peterborough, Ben, I think since getting to Wembley and knocking Wrexham out of the Virtue Trophy, I think they've been pretty decent, haven't they, in terms of their results? Obviously, the win in the Cambridgeshire derby was just the one that mattered. They drew with Wycombe at home, conceding a 93rd minute equaliser. They drew away at Blackpool. They trounced Shrewsbury. They won away at Huddersfield. So I think they're definitely getting there, aren't they, Peterborough? And this young group are clearly clearly working together nicely. It's just a shame for Peterborough and their aspirations that they've only done it a little bit too late for their liking. Teo Eden got the goal, great free kick. Also got himself sent off like a prat. I think he stamped on Bennett, didn't he, Liam Bennett, in the last couple of minutes of the game. But this is massive, not only for Peterborough fans is this massive, but it also puts them probably 2 wins from 10 games away from the safety. All right, Ben.
It is on Saturday night as well, 2 o'clock in the morning.
If you say things enough times, but if you throw enough at a wall, some of it will stick. Do you know what I mean? So I won't get too cocky. Even a stop clock's right 2 times a day, Ben. So don't start claiming you're right for everything. But yeah, really good for Peterborough. Good win. It was important for the, obviously, like I say, the fans to win that. It's quite an underrated derby, I think, Cambridge-Peterborough, Ben. I don't think a lot of people talk about it, but I watched Ads' video of it, and it looks pretty heated, like the police out in town, and they weren't allowed to go in any pubs or anything like that. Yeah, it was. I think it's a bit of an underrated derby, but yeah, great win for Posh. Signifies how much better they're getting in this current moment as well. So, yeah, fair play, Peterborough United. Good win. Cambridge, you're joining Fleetwood in League 2 next season, along with Burton Albion, which I'm sure you're about to ask me about.
Yeah, talking about Shrewsbury Town 14 points adrift now, losing 6 of their last 7, and they're getting worse. Another woeful, pitiful performance. Again, they're in the game, scrappy game, not a lot in it, but another pitiful result and low quality again. I feel for the supporters, but their time has come up, I think, for now. You know, Ainsworth did okay when he first came in, but realistically, this squad needs ripping up and starting again. Mess off the pitch, leading to mess on the pitch. When you have that, I can tell you categorically that it will never lead well. Burton Albion, who, by the way, were only 5 points clear of Shrewsbury before the kickoff. Shrewsbury could have gone within 2 if they would have won. They would have, so within 31, 34, 33 points, sorry. They could have gone within yesterday, I think. Yeah, 31, 33. Yeah, no, 2 points. Sorry, I was right first time.
Ben, are you feeling okay? Because normally you get your maths spot on.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm so tired.
A long day.
And I've had a long week, mate. A long week. But a massive win for the Brewers. You think that they need 16 points? I think they could do with 12. The tough pictures coming up. It's good to see, Burrell and Van Kooten scoring as well. Healthy away crowd as well. Which, again, it wasn't enough. So Burton Albion 3 points taken off for May David. Wink, wink. Great result for them. Guy Bowie's done a decent job since going in there. They've had a bit of a sticky period. When I say sticky period, they've lost 2 games on the spin. And that weeks ago would have been the standard. They lost to Bolton Wanderers and Wycombe. Come on now. The disappointment was the Mansfield game. If you had 2 points on there, all of a sudden they're within 4. The games coming up are massive for them. They've got Stockport away. I think the game against Leyton Orient, the Huddersfield home game, the Cambridge home game, the Wigan home game, potentially can nick something off a very hungover Birmingham City side. And look, they play that game on the 21st of April, which is just a bit after the cup final. They should be promoted by then. They'll be thinking, I love Burton having to stay up for David for thingy, but I think it's going to be a tough ask. I think the one good thing Burton have got is you see the 6 points adrift of 21st, but they're also 6 points clear of 18th. And they have played a game more than Peterborough, granted, but they're 6 off Northampton, who, by the way, Northampton will feel like, what do we have to do? Northampton got 9 points from the last 6 games, and they're still within this rush. They are still catchable within probably 4 or 5 teams. So they've still got, it's not like they're catching one team, they're looking at 4 or 5 teams, and you'd be looking at one team now. Who do you think we can catch? I think it's still on. It's going to be tough, but a great victory for them.
Burrell again. Ole, Ben. Roman Burrell again, scoring a great goal, and also a great celebration from Sue's new friend, Terence Van Kooten. I don't know if you saw the Rudiger-style run to the corner flag, which I appreciated. Obviously having spoken to David quite a lot over the last sort of 24 hours, maybe a little bit more than that, about the win. I think it probably should have been more from a Burton point of view. Mason Bennett's had 2 great chances to score. He's put both of them over the bar. Burrell put one from a corner, which he maybe could have scored as well in the first half. So, yeah, look, it was a good performance from Burton. I believe Burrell up front working tirelessly hard. Obviously, they had. Sorry, Ben. I just had a bit of a cough there. Really important for Burton as well. They had young Daddy Budvarsson back in the starting 11, which is a.
Can I just say as well, since he left, he wasn't playing. No wins. He comes back. Win. Correlation.
Yeah, massively. I think that the back three, Sweeney, Van Kooten, Armour, all played their part in this as well. I think that's now their 10th clean sheet of the season. I don't think a goal. I think it was. I'm trying to remember the name of the goalkeeper that kept the 10 clean sheets in the season before Max Crocombe. But from what I gather with David, it was a long time ago. Yeah, Budvarsson went off injured, which wasn't ideal after just half an hour. So it's a good win for them. It gives them a little bit of hope, doesn't it? They've now sort of got Northampton, Bristol Rovers are in their sights, given their free for all at the moment. Certainly away from home. Peterborough as well. Yes, they've got a game in hand, but teams down the bottom don't tend to win their games in hand. By Collins, that was it, David. Thank you for letting me know. Really good win. 2 goals from set pieces. Burrell, Van Kooten. I thought JJ played well in midfield again. I thought he had a really, really good game, really box to box in there with Charlie Webster. I've watched. I don't know if you know Stephen Jack vlogs. They're Burton supporters. There's a great shot of David about 3 minutes in of him with his mouth wide open, cheering on the boys with his fan hub hat on. He absolutely loves it, that boy.
I'm gonna watch that now.
Go. Well, don't do it now because we're live.
No, I know. I'm gonna go have a look.
I think it was about 3 minutes in. David's probably going to kill me if I get you to get that up. But yeah, there's a great shot of him in his fan hub hat. He's laughing at me. Really big win for Shrewsbury. They look all but down, don't they? Particularly, not looking good for them. Obviously, we backed Gareth Ainsworth to maybe do something, but perhaps our faith was a little bit misguided. Bottom of the league now, 28 points, 14 points away from those outside of the bottom 4. It's a really, really big ask for Shrewsbury now. And to say they've won 7 games, they probably need to win 6 games in 9, Ben, to have any chance of staying up.
I think maybe fighting it away with 4 wins and a draw, 49 points. I really do.
This is the conversation I was having with David yesterday. He says the teams outside, so Bristol Rovers, Northampton, and Peterborough, their PPG. If you go on their PPG between now and the end of the season, yes, I know.
Did I tweet about it? Come on.
No, it's not because you tweet about it.
No. Well, all right then. Leyton Orient PPG, we'll have them down for X amount of points. 5 games ago. They lost 5 on the spin.
Yeah, I know it's about current momentum, isn't it? And I think the conversation that he had was 52, which is where the number comes from, which I'm talking to you about because we had a good chat about.
I think you can get maybe 50 at the minimum.
Which means the bottom 4 have currently got a lot of work. But Burton Albion, like you say, since the turn of the year, which is a shame that the season starts in January, not in shame the season starts in August, not in January. Because Burton Albion would be in the top 8 if the season started in January. David's trying to put a form together, a petition together, so that we can go Scandinavian style and do a January to November style league like they do in Scandinavia and in Ireland as well. Yeah, so yeah, look, good win for Burton. Shrewsbury look gone, mate, don't they? Like it's particularly tough for them. I can't see them winning 6 games or 5 games in 9 when they've won 7 out of 37. It's really tough for them. They need to keep a hold of Gareth Ainsworth next season if they want any chance of coming back. But whether the takeover's complete in time for it, I really don't know. I can see a world, Ben, where Gareth Ainsworth just cuts his losses and goes, right, well, I don't think I'm going to be backed anywhere near enough in order to get it, to get these boys back into League One. And like you said, Ben, with Cambridge and Crawley, Cambridge before, they're circling the drain pipe a little bit. And there are teams at the minute that are above that dotted line that I think are circling the drain pipe, like Northampton, maybe, like Exeter. So it'd be interesting to see who we both have going down next year, because that could be a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there. I think Ainsworth will stay. I think he's the type of man that likes a challenge. Northampton 1, Birmingham City 1. Birmingham City another point closer to where they want to do. Again, Northampton didn't lose against Birmingham City this season. Drawing twice, 1-1.
They're the only team, aren't they?
I think so far, yeah. Well, they haven't played Shrewsbury. Have they played Shrewsbury at home, Birmingham? I don't think they have they?
No, not yet.
I think they've got Shrewsbury at home to come. Yeah, they have. On 29th of March, they have.
Yeah.
But again, look, it's disappointing because you look at the last 3 away games, Reading, that, and then this. The standard has been win, 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 win. What's mad is Birmingham City are top of the league and they've only scored 59 goals. In terms of that, yeah, it's still a lot for how good Birmingham have been. You think they score maybe 20 more on that number, just because the defence is so good as well. They are still 15 points clear. So this weekend they've gone a point clearer to where they want to do, which is massive. Look, Iwata with an own goal, which is comical. I think that he's shown that he's only worth to go to 14th place in League Two. Snap him up, but no, a bit of a mistake there from Birmingham.
Great finish off the post, wasn't it?
Yeah, great finish as well. Look, even game, to be fair. I thought that Northampton probably deserved a share of the spoils as well. Nice goal as well from Keshe.
Ex-cobbler, Keshe Anderson.
He scored all his 5 away goals, by the way, away from home.
Yeah, 2 of them at the bank. Thanks, Ben, for reminding me. I think you're right, Ben. I think Northampton did deserve a point, and that might go down not very well with the Birmingham fans. But after last week, I don't think I've got too many friends in that part of the world, so I'm all right with upsetting the ones that I don't have. What I think they did, and this yesterday watching the highlights, and Birmingham fans will get what I mean by this. Is it felt a little bit like watching Birmingham away from home at the start of the season, where teams got at them quickly and they sort of not buckled, because that would be unfair to say because they didn't buckle, but they succumbed to pressure. And what I saw of this game, Northampton pressed right up. So when Birmingham want to take short goal kicks and free kick, Reading as well, yeah, they completely just swarmed them. You have McGeehan, Hoskins, Pinnock, Costello, all crowded around the 18-yard box, ready to pounce. And you look at where the goal comes from, Ben. The goal comes from Birmingham City overplaying it, and Ryan Allsop plays a poor ball into Iwata, who's getting chased down by Costello, I think, the man who should have signed for Fleetwood. And Iwata doesn't have no choice, but he plays a poor ball and it goes in off the post, and it's unfortunate. But that was what Northampton deserved. They had 1 or 2 chances before. Hoskins put one marginally over the bar. But this Birmingham team, we've said it before, certainly regarding their away form at the start of the season, they're just so good they can't not get themselves back into games. And it was a lovely ball from Clara, and it's a great header from Keshe Anderson, obviously ex-cobbler, like we mentioned. Standards are slipping at Birmingham, aren't they, to drop 2 points away at Northampton? But look, they'll see it as another point. They won't be thinking about. They're not. I don't think they're that bothered about the points record. I think they're just worried about getting back to the Championship, and they'll see it as a point in the right direction. On another day, Northampton could have won that game, so maybe they're talking about coming away with a point being a good point. And sometimes they are, Ben. Sometimes you have to accept it as league winners. You're not going to win every game. Liverpool that won't win every game this season. You're talking about teams out of this league. Not Ipswich, Plymouth Argyle. They didn't win every game, did they? So yeah, it's tough. They'll feel disappointed that it's 2 points dropped, but then again, they'll be happy they've come away with something. So yeah, I think Northampton did themselves proud. The problem for Northampton is that Burton winning cuts that gap a little bit closer. So they might well just be looking over their shoulder for another couple of weeks.
Mansfield Town, 90th minute winner against Barnsley, put to end what was the longest active winless run across England's top 4 divisions, playing 13, losing 9 before this one. Barnsley have now lost 5 of their last 7 away games, as many in their last 13, where they won 8 and drew 1. Great victory for the Stags, who get back to winning ways, and maybe a victory that will keep them in the division. They could have been 5 points adrift in 20th place without that win, getting their 12th victory of the season. Great victory for them. Barnsley slipped to another defeat, which is worrying as well. But overall, I thought that Mansfield were well deserving of the victory. I had 18 shots to 6. Yes, Barnsley had chances. They couldn't score. Barnsley, they expect more because of the name of the club, Barnsley Football Club. Barnsley squad is average. It is so average. The business in the summer was poor. They didn't get a proper striker. They got Davies Keeler-Dunn, who's basically got them to where they are this year. Without him, I don't know where they would be. Humphreys, for me, isn't the 9 that you need. They are missing something. Rodriguez was a poor signing in my eyes. And for me, Barnsley, they've lost 15, they've won 15. They are where they should be. And for me, don't feel sorry for them. Again, difficult for them. Jake, I want to tackle you on your favourites, Leyton Orient, who got back to winning ways. Do you feel Leyton Orient are still in that playoff push with a 2-1 victory over Blackpool? Blackpool will be frustrated that every time they built some momentum, that they've been kind of put down to reality. That was only the 10th defeat of the season. However, now 10 points off the playoffs signifies to me another year in League One.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's tough, isn't it, for Orient? It is tough. They're 5 points off it at the minute, but that stretch of 5 games will be that they lost. They'll be gutted because they could see themselves as being within that conversation of, maybe where Stockport and Charlton are, had they carried on at the trajectory that they were going on. I don't think they're out of it by any stretch, but it's going to be tough to make up 5 points, especially when we expect Huddersfield and we expect Bolton maybe to get a little bit better. Yesterday, I thought they were good. Charlie Kelman. Do you know what, Ben? I saw this the other day, and I know you're a big advocate of Jay Stansfield, but I didn't realise he's scored 9 non-penalty goals all season. I know you'll say, and what? But I was surprised by that because I thought, how many's he got? Like 15, 16, 17 goals? Yeah, I was surprised by that. But Charlie Kelman, obviously, like Parmex mentions there, is the highest scoring non-penalty goal scorer. So he's in the hunt for a golden boot, which is absolutely massive. Look, it was a good win for them. Charlie Kelman scoring twice. I think Blackpool had a couple of chances, didn't they? What's his name? Ashley Fletcher put one over the bar from when it looked easy to score. But it was a big win because, going away to Bloomfield Road, it's a difficult place to go. And they went there and, off the back of 5 defeats and they went and put a performance in. They put themselves right back in and amongst it. Do you reckon they're still within it, mate? Do you reckon they're still?
On Blackpool, I thought Blackpool were actually really good, and I think their performance in the last few weeks have been really good. Sonny Carey scoring a great goal yesterday. Tom Bloxham off the bench made a huge difference for them as well. Look, Ashley Fletcher's just been one of those strikers. I don't think he is the man to get them to the next level. I think he's done okay at times. The standards of Ashley Fletcher's been down there. He's probably been up here. You need it up here, really. He's still off it for me. Sonny Carey's, I think, out of contract in the summer. Maybe looking for a move away from the seaside as well. The miss from Jake Beasley at the end, where he goes through running goal and lobs the goalkeeper, should score for me. It's a massive loss for them. For Leyton Orient, look, they are still within a run. They're going to have to go on one of those mega runs again, which we've seen them do. But then you're looking at, with 27 points to go, then you're looking at Huddersfield or Bolton to drop 5 points, which they probably will in that time. Don't get me wrong. But are Leyton going to drop points? Probably, yeah. They're going to have to go get 5 more than those two sides. It's going to be difficult. I think it's for me. And Reading are 10 games unbeaten, by the way. I don't want to disrespect them in any way, shape or form. It just feels with Reading, they draw too many. They've drawn 4 of the last 6. Just needed to win that yesterday. It's a massive, massive one. We'll come to that now, actually. Talking of that, then we'll go to the last game as well, just disrupt the running order once again. We will come to Rotherham Exeter. But it is a point for Reading that I feel, yes, they are 10 games unbeaten. Yes, they're up to 59 points. Yes, they're still 2 points away. But those 11 draws could be the difference. And look, it's been an outstanding season for what they expected. They've got some tough games coming up. They've got to go away at Blackpool. They've got local rivals Wycombe to come. But they've got Shrewsbury. They've got Northampton. They've got Mansfield. They've got Bristol Rovers to play, this month. They've got Peterborough. And the end with Barnsley. They've got Lincoln. I'm not being disrespectful to the sides that they play.
Not a lot to play for.
They have games where you feel this Reading side can get points, but I just don't know if you can trust Reading to get the job done often enough.
Yeah, I do get that. I do understand your frustration with Reading. But I don't know, like you say, we say that the fixtures perhaps maybe look favourable on paper, but sometimes when teams are on the beach and got nothing to play, they've still got contracts to play for. They're still professional footballers. So I think sometimes you get really odd results, don't you?
You do, but but all you say, you all got to judge it on what you can see after 37 games, and things will happen. But then you're saying that's about Burton. They're fighting for life. You see results at the bottom not happen. You were writing Burton's fixtures off. For me, at the bottom end of the season, where teams find a way to look, like last year, Fleetwood won 3 of the last 4. They'd only won 7 of the previous 42. Things happen at the end of the year. You get desperate. You take more risks.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree, and maybe that's what Reading are going to do. But yesterday, a game against Stevenage, they would have locked that in. Not locked that in, but they would have targeted 3 points from that one. Certainly at home, given how good they are at the Madstad. Yeah, I don't know. It's still been a good season for them, Ben. Even if Reading don't manage to finish in the playoffs, which still to finish in the top 10 for Reading. I know, everything that's going on off the pitch as well. It's difficult, but for 59 points from 37 games, it's one hell of an effort, isn't it, from the lads involved? And from Hunt, obviously they had a managerial change halfway through the season as well, which wouldn't have been easy for them to deal with. But to still be within a shout of the playoffs and in the middle of March is an outstanding achievement from them. So, yeah, I know they'll be disappointed, and I understand what you mean by they're not perhaps reliable to get the goals and to get the points. Which maybe edges them out of that conversation a little bit.
They just give massive credit.
Yeah, they really do. They've had a really stellar season, and it's a little bit unfortunate the way that it's transpired. I think we'd be talking about a Reading that had been taken over, then we're maybe looking at a club that are rejuvenated and maybe looking to do what Bolton and Huddersfield are doing at the minute. So, yeah, but I also think, Ben, just while we're talking about this, it's a good point on the road for Stevenage. It's a great point in our biggest ever season for Stevenage Football Club.
I love when I see his little smiley face right on my screen. Right, so this is what he's going to say before the next game. a chance to go up to 50 points in Sky Bet League One into the top half with 14 wins. That bloke, right, could honestly, right, could drive out to London, right, could drive out to Reading away, get £100 car fine, a bird excellent all over his car screen, smash his phone screen in, lose 5-0, right, break his legs in like walking up the stairs and go to hospital, and he'd still come out going, oh, boys, he'd find a way to be positive. And I like being around positive people, but he is the next extreme. And what a guy Farley is, though, you know. But yeah, absolutely agree. Now, we are 4 subscribers away, so there's 100 people.
Come on, people.
Come on, if you haven't subscribed, please press like. Please subscribe.
Come on, JJ. I know you're watching. You might as well hit the subscribe button, mate.
Is he the Huddersfield fan?
No. You know what I mean. Come on, JJ. I know you're watching. I know you.
I don't think. Can I be honest with you, though? I'm going to be harsh. I don't think he's a League One, but I think he'd be perfect for someone in League Two. You know, trying to get out of the echelons. He's a
League One player.
No, I think he can be.
He will be.
Like maybe 13 months' time. You know,
you mean for a team like Fleetwood?
Come up north.
You wish.
Yeah. You know, former Morecambe players have come here and done well on loan. Come on. A bit like Brendan Wirraloo. He's not, you know, in commentary yesterday, I went, Brendan Wirraloo? Oh, what a stinker I had. And finally, Rotherham 1, Exeter 1. Exeter, they are so weird. Now, they'll start the season like bang, 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 win. They get all their points in clusters. It's not like, you know, like where Lincoln all season have got like dribs and drabs. Like they've got like 3 or 4 points here, 5 points here, you know, from 3 or 4, maybe then lost a couple and won a couple, you know, like Rotherham have as well, a little bit as well. They kind of get all the points and get no points. Like from game week 10 to like game week 30, they were like bottom of the league from those 20 game weeks. Now all of a sudden, seems to be calling for Crawley out, I think recently as well. They won at Cambridge. They've won like 3 drawn, 3 lost, 1 in the last 7 games or so, and they are now 8 points adrift. It's a good point for them on the road against Rotherham that have won, I think, 7 of the last 12 now at home. And Reece James, before Alex Hartridge's 56-minute strike, cancelled that out. Rotherham had 24 shots, 9 on target to Exeter's 3. How many times this season we talked about Rotherham's dominance, but can't find a way through? Frustrating one for both sides. For more Rotherham, a great point for Exeter, really, if we're talking about it. For Rotherham, it's been so flat this year. You know, you're talking about like Exeter being like, you know, just getting a bit of momentum. Rotherham are only 1 point better off than Exeter in 14. So it just shows you Exeter aren't that far away from where they want to be. But Rotherham, they've only won 12 games this year. They've only scored 40 goals. The questions got to be asked on this season. It's been probably one of the worst seasons they've had in this division.
Probably one of the worst seasons in history, Ben, to be honest.
Yeah, because bar last season where they didn't win away from home.
But they were only staying in the Championship and going to some nice grounds, weren't they? Whereas this year they had to go somewhere like, I don't know. Oh, no, they're not had to go to Fleetwood, which is a great year for them. They have had to go to Fleetwood, actually.
No, their record at Fleetwood was honking.
They have been to Fleetwood this season, haven't they?
Can I just say, by the way, right? So, just saying, do you remember this? We played Rotherham at home, right? And we went down. I went, come on the cards. On my story, 2 minutes later, Rotherham scored. And he pops up going, ha, 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 ha. So I left. We won the game 2-1. So I'm like, have that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Ben. I think Exeter are a million miles off where they want to be. They had that slump, didn't they? But they've been able to get wins here and there to try and keep their head afloat, really. You know, those back-to-back home wins over Shrewsbury and Mansfield were really big because you have to beat teams around where you are on the table, and they were massive for them at the time. You know, if they go up to level points, Ben, they can go above level games. Sorry, they can, you know, potentially even look at going above Rotherham United. So that tells you everything about the seasons that they're both having. But it was a bit of a drab game, like you say. Rotherham not able to really assert their dominance despite having way more possession, double the shots, you know, a lot more final third entries into the box and stuff like that. So Rotherham will be disappointed, but I think Rotherham fans are just waiting for the season to finish, mate, to be honest. A bit like the rest of us who were just sat here on the beach, shades on, headphones on, towel ready, in we go for a dip. Let's have the summer Yeah, it finished 1-1. It wasn't a great game. Should we move on?
80 minutes we've done well. Wow.
Right, predictions, Ben?
Oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't great for either of us this week. I will be honest. Let me just scroll all the way down because I've got it in one notes page on on my notes, and it's quite a long one. So midweek, Ben, you remember this? Jake Young saved me out a little bit here, didn't he?
Yeah.
By scoring a 94th minute, got a consolation goal away at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. And it was 4 points each in midweek, which is quite poor from our standards. So poor again, we nearly did it at the weekend again. You got 5 and I got 4. If you got one correct score, which was Cambridge Peterborough, really poor.
Stevenage scoring late on. Oh.
Stevenage Reading, you had 2-0. You had 2-0 Reading. I believe. Who was it? So I was 1 goal out for Wycombe Wrexham, 1 goal out for Shrewsbury Burton. Honestly, I had a bit of a nightmare. 1 goal out for Charlton Wigan, 1 goal out for Blackpool Orient as well. So look, as it stands, Ben, you are on 293 and I'm on 298. However, looking at the fixtures, obviously we've got international break next weekend, but I anticipate we're going to do a show because I don't think there's many games that have been called off as it stands.
Burton's off. Birmingham will be off. Bolton's
one game that we know we can't predict is Tuesday night, Ben. You can go first for this one. It's Rotherham United against Wycombe Wanderers.
2-1 Wycombe.
2-1 Wycombe. I think 1-0 Wycombe. I think they go there and keep a clean sheet. Right. In terms of international games, if people can help me out, I know our game is definitely on against Exeter.
I know Mansfield's off. Stevenage is off.
Yeah, Burton's off as well. Bolton, Rotherham's already off. Huddersfield, Wycombe. So you're looking at Barnsley, Cambridge,
Crawley, Bristol Rovers, Lincoln, Exeter, Northampton, Blackpool, Peterborough, Charlton, Wrexham, Stockport.
Yeah, but I think some of them will go as well because we don't know. So what I think
everybody's a week before, sure.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is it. Well, Exeter. You remember Exeter when we played them in the last international break? They had one player called up particularly late, didn't they? Kamari Doyle got called up late, and they tried to call the game off because it was too close to
Wrexham, Crawley, Barnsley, Northampton. Right. Okay. So that hasn't got Peterborough.
Well, what we can do is on Friday we know what games are going to be happening the next day, don't we? So what shall we do?
I just think predict.
What, to do it now?
Yeah, just do the 5 games that we think are on, 6 games.
Okay. Well, what happens if there isn't?
Orient Mansfield's off. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
So what?
Right. Barnsley, Cambridge.
Right, I'm first for this one. Barnsley, Cambridge. I'm going Barnsley 2, Cambridge 0.
2-1 Barnsley.
Let me just make sure that one's on. Stockport, Wrexham. Is that Wrexham, Stockport? Is that going to be on?
Crawley, Bristol Rovers next. I've got.
Crawley, Bristol Rovers. Go on then, Ben.
2-0 Gas.
I'm going. It's at Crawley, isn't it? Crawley 1, Gas 2. I'm going to go for. What's the next one, Ben?
Lincoln, Exeter.
Oh. Lincoln. Oh, no. Don't get too ahead of yourself, Jake. Lincoln 2, Exeter 0.
Lincoln 2, Exeter 1.
Next one, Ben, because you've got the
Northampton, Blackpool. I'm going to go for Northampton 2, Blackpool 1.
I'm going to go Cobblers 1, Blackpool 1.
Is Peterborough Charlton on? Let me have a look. Peterborough versus Charlton.
Yeah, my tweet bang this week, isn't it?
Is set to take place. I'm going to go for 2-1 Charlton. What tweet?
My tweet about Josh Hemmings. Yeah. Peterborough Charlton, did you say?
Yeah.
At Peterborough. And you went 2-1
Charlton.
I'm going to go 2-1 Peterborough.
And then Wrexham, Stockport. I'm going to go for.
Hold on. No, you just went first. My turn. I know what you're like. Wrexham, Stockport. I'll go in at Wrexham 2, Stockport 1.
I'm going to go for Wrexham 1, Stockport 0. There we are. Right. Any final questions before we shut down? Go and follow Jake on Twitter.
Thanks, people.
Down below. We are now 3 subscribers away. So if you could subscribe, be greatly appreciated. It's been a long weekend, this, hasn't it?
489 followers away from 2,000. So if you could, it's a long road, but let's get there, people. Come on, help me out.
Absolutely. And some predictions coming in. Yeah, pretty much.
Come on. Goal scorers. That's what we are.
Absolutely not, David.
Yeah, why not?
I'm on end. You know something?
Is your game off next weekend for international?
No, we're on. We're on.
Where are you?
At home, Tranmere, thankfully.
We've
got 4 MPs, so Milton Keynes Dons, right? I don't really classify as long. It's long, but it's not long like yesterday. We've got Chesterfield and Harrogate and Accrington after that, and that is it for the season. So it's nearly, and Bradford, and that is it for the year, thankfully.
Tranmere just beat Bradford, didn't they?
Yeah, they're on good form at the moment. Jake, thanks for joining me tonight, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's been good, hasn't it? We've had fun.
Cambridge, Shrewsbury need to rebuild in League 2 and probably do maybe what Fleetwood and Charlton have done. Crawley, I'd be worried to see what happened because normally clubs that go back-to-back, Carlisle, Forest Green, Scunthorpe. No, Carlisle haven't done it yet, but they look in danger. I think Burton will be top 7-esque.
David wants top 3, mate. 100 points, 100 goals.
It's not going to be as easy as that, David. Believe me.
No,
go on, yours where you go. Sorry, I don't specify in that subject.
Don't do League 2, lads, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right.
We're
going to call it there. An hour and a half. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for sticking by us. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the subscriptions. Jake, been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, looking forward to doing an hour show on Rotherham and Wycombe on Wednesday night. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. If it's a blockbuster. Yeah.
I tell you what, if there's more than 5 goals, we'll do a show. How about that?
Yeah, deal.
It's
got to be more than 5.
No, 5 or more.
Oh, okay.
Rotherham aren't going to score 3 goals, mate. Don't worry. You watch. Rotherham United 0, Wycombe Wanderers 6. Oh.
No, it'll be 4-0 and Rotherham score the last kick of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
Let's do it.
I need
to watch along. Still watch
along. Want some time off. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. Up the Sky Bet League 1 and up the cards. Please like and subscribe on your way out. Have a good one.
5 past Bristol